That was Eric Benet and Tamia, Spend My Life. So they say it is the punch you don't see coming. That's the one that knocks you out. Right now, we're still tabulating the results of the midterm election. We do know a couple of things. We know that now, because Arizona went into the Democratic column as well as Nevada, that the Democrats will hold and maybe expand their majority in the Senate. The Congress is still out. There are 10, I think there are 15 seats that are still being counted. The Democrats will need to carry 10 of them to maintain the Congress, but very hard to do, but not impossible. It is the case of people being wrong. It was history. History has always told us that the incumbent president and the people in power right now would experience several losses in the several seats in the Senate and in the Congress. They would lose control of either one or both houses. Everybody thought because the economy was bad and the crime was bad and inflation was at a 40-year high that a different decision would be made. But it would depend on who you were asking. But they would have had to believe that there are all these women and all these young people who believed that gas prices and the price of eggs and butter were more important than what they placed on the right of a human being to own their own body. Poll after poll told us that the thing on the voters' minds was not women's right to choose or the abortion or the die decision. It was inflation. It was eggs. It was the price of gas. It was the malaise in the country. People thought the country was in the wrong direction. They overwhelmingly asked the wrong people. I never felt like there would be a red wave. There certainly isn't one. Spotting at best. Spotting at best. People lost that should have won. People lost in a lot of places. A lot of people turned out. The things that surprised people the most was how many young people, how many young people showed up, how many black men showed up, and how many women were motivated by the fact that their rights were going to be challenged. Inflation will come and go. Gas prices will tick up and tick down, but people will always want autonomy of their own bodies. And I think we have a couple of people. I remember when the election of 2020 and how impactful black women have been, and they always are. They vote in higher numbers than almost any other demographic. But I would be remiss if I didn't give black men their flowers. They showed up in huge numbers when they weren't anticipated to. They did it in spite of the things that they feel like they haven't gotten or been heard. They showed up and made their voices count. The same with young people. I also have to say, what Stacey Abrams did is the mark of a true leader. Moses led his people to the promised land, and he didn't get to enter it. And I feel like she will never probably be governor. But what she has done is transformed the turnout machine that she put together in Georgia will go down in history. No one's ever seen anything like that. That all of a sudden in the seat of the Confederacy, a black woman was running for governor, and two black men, or one black man and another, I don't know, two black men are running for the senator in the state. She doesn't get her flowers. She left. That is what the test of a leader is. That is what a legacy is. A legacy means I'm going to leave something behind so people remember me, and they will always remember me. And people should be grateful, because I think to a large degree, she turned this country back from, I think, an authoritarian direction that I don't know that it would have came back from. And that's still tenuous at best. And the other thing that we will get to see if the Republicans who stood up and voted for Herschel Walker really love him as much as they say they do. Because now all of a sudden, his seat is not quite as important. It won't give them the Senate. It'll just be another seat. How many people will mortgage their reputations? How many people will get out of bed and vote for a person who they know is ill-equipped and underqualified? I think if you're going to be a spokesperson, you got to know the spoken. He doesn't even meet that requirement. We're going to see if you really have the courage of your convictions. If you're going to do what it is you said you were going to do when you thought that seat could potentially go your way. All those people, millions of people that voted for that man, we'll see if you'll do it again. Because now the Senate's not in play anymore. You don't have it. But I think what is important is that people go to Georgia and vote, because I think that it is important that the Senate, the reach of the Senate, the majority of the Senate is expanded. So it takes people like the cinemas and the mansions who derail legislation, who derail, codifying Roe versus Wade or the Voters' Rights Act. Those things they derail because of whatever, political vantage point they were trying to take. It is important that it's expanded. We have learned a lot about ourselves, and that is that far more people than people gave credit to showed up and showed out. Far more people. It is always the punch you didn't see, and most times it comes from the people you never counted. That's a little note from the GED section. We got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.